Friends, how's it going? It's me, Betty Jean. I did some eye swatches for you with the Smokey Glow palette through Midas Cosmetics. I said that totally backwards. But basically, I just went through and swatched every single shade, all 18 of these, on my eyes for your viewing pleasure, just so we can kind of see what the shades look like on the eye, how they blend out, the performance of them, so on and so forth. This look that I'm wearing is actually one of my looks for my 3 Looks 1 palette that I'm currently filming. That'll be up very soon, so stay tuned for that. I'm really excited about this palette. I'm excited to continue playing with it, and you guys seem really pumped about this palette too, which is super cool. Anyways, I don't want to continue rambling. Let's just get into these eye swatches, and I will chat a little bit more about them when I return. Hello! I'm excited to swatch all these. I'm wearing the exact same wig and beanie as my first impressions because I just washed that off. It's the same day. In case you are new to my eye swatches, what I do is I'll go through and do all the mattes first, just so I don't have residual sparkle on my lids from shimmers, and then go in with mattes. So I'm going to do all the mattes first. There's 10 mattes, so I'll be doing 1 on each eye, so that'll be 5 takes, and then there are 8 shimmers, so I'll be doing 4 takes, 2 on each eye. What I do first is I just pack I prime my eye first, obviously. Smashbox lid primer and light every time. I don't set it. I'm going to go in with my matte shadow, pat it on, just so we can see what it looks like patted out, and then I'm going to take a blending brush and just simply blend that shadow out, just so we can see the blendability of it, what the color looks like, yada yada yada. I'll be using the same eyeshadow brush for both eyes. I'll just flip it to the clean side just to save on brushes, because otherwise it would take so many brushes to do this many shadows. I've never done eye swatches for a palette this large before. Whew, my eyes are not going to be happy after this, but it'll be worth it. When I get to the shimmers, what I do is I just prime my eye again like normal. I'll do a layer with just the simple primed eye, and then I will go in with a layer of glitter primer. Do that, and then go over with a second layer of shadow just to see how much more it pops with the glitter primer. I always use glitter primer with my shimmers, but I do want you guys to be able to see what they would look like without glitter primer. But for me, glitter primer is just a necessity. It makes everything look better. I'm not going to necessarily blend these shimmers through the crease just because I personally don't wear shimmer in the crease, and I know a lot of people don't, so I just don't find it necessary. If you have a problem with the way I do eye swatches, then that's that. But I like the way I do them. I feel like I get a pretty good feel of what the shadows do and perform like, and you guys seem to really enjoy these videos too, so I try to do them when I can. I guess that's really all I have to say. Let's just get to priming. I'll try to go and do these where the shadows might look the most similar next to each other, just so we can see how different they are on the eyes. But I'm gonna first just go ahead and prime my eyes with the Smashbox lid primer. Of course. Alright, so first I'm going to go in with basic on this eye, and on the other eye I'm just going to go in with this one because it's the other light toned one, so we're just going to go in with both of those. I'm just going to take a shadow brush. I don't have identical brushes for all of these either. I'm just using brushes that I know work, like simple packing brushes and simple blending brushes. Nothing too revolutionary. But going in with basic first, it's just a matte white. It totally just blended my eyeball. That felt great. Off to a great start. Going in with Cold Brew now. Alright, so that is what both of those look like on the eye. I personally, well, if it was me, I wouldn't have put either of these shades in the palette just because I don't reach for these kinds of like transition-y shades very often. And as far as this white goes, it's not the most white in the world, so I wouldn't find myself reaching for this very often other than just to mix in and lighten up other shades. But otherwise, I don't feel like I need both of these in the palette. It's fine that they're there. I'm not going to complain about it really, like it's whatever, but I wouldn't have chosen to put them in here, if that makes sense. But they were fine. They're both very light. This one works as a very light transition-y kind of color, or to set your eyeshadow base if you're into that. And kind of same with this one, you could set your eyeshadow base with it, or you can just use it to kind of mix it and lighten up other shades. They did their job, but they're definitely not shadows that I'm going to reach for per se. Alright, so I'm going to take these off and prime my eyes again. If I have any staining, I'll let you know with all these shadows, but I doubt these will stain. But I'm going to take these off, prime my eyes, and we will move on. I'm back. No staining. Nice and primed. For this eye here, I'm going to go in with Jump Cut, and I'm going to pair that one with Amazing because I really want to pair like these pink ones with each other because I feel like they'll look more similar. So we're just going to do these ones next to each other. I'm actually going to use the exact same packing brush I just used. I wiped it off on a towel, but I mean, those were such light shades. They didn't stain my brush or anything, so I'm not going to waste a brush. And we're going in with Jump Cut. By the way, I know this brush has some green staining on it, but there's no green pigment on it. Just so you're aware. I'm not cheating, I swear. Alright, so that is those. Jump Cut's a little more sheer on application. I for some reason thought it would be a lot more pigmented, but it's still really cute. It's more of like a pastel-y kind of coral, but I do feel like it would build up nicely if you took the time, and it blended out fine. Amazing is so pretty. It's very rich and yummy. I felt like it blended out easy as well. Obviously it takes a little bit more time to blend this out because it's a darker shade, and I wouldn't necessarily wear it by itself. I would use other things to help blend it out, but I mean, they did their job. It's fine. I'm gonna take these off and move on. All right, I'm back and primed. I didn't notice staining with those, but now that I'm thinking about it, I used so many of those bright pinks in my first impressions, and I just did that today, and I washed it off, and I didn't have any staining from that. So I really don't think these shadows will stain, but I can't promise it. On this eye, I'm gonna use Rose, and I wanna pair that one with Warrior. I feel like those might look the most similar. I'll put Warrior on this eye. Let's just dive in. These videos are typically long, and especially because there's so many shades, I don't want to ramble too much in the meantime. I stay as I'm rambling. Alright, that is those. They look very distinctly different to me. I thought for some reason that they would look a bit more similar on the eye than they do. This one has a little bit more of a neutral, cool toned aspect. This one's definitely more warm. Both packed on fine. Both seem to blend out fine, and I liked the way these performed in my first impression, so that's that. Let's move right along. All right, I'm back, primed. I might have some residual pink, like a little bit in my lashes, but I also just used a makeup wipe. I don't typically use a makeup wipe. With my regular cleanser, it took everything off. But moving on, I'm gonna use Colleague on this eye, and I wanna pair that one with Content on this eye. I used Colleague as my blush and in my first impressions, and I really like that shade. I'm excited to see what Content looks like though. So let's just dive right in. Content is such a pretty cool toned, like berry purpley pink. It's so lovely. Colleague is just such a cute kind of bubblegum pink. It's so adorable. I really like both of these. I really like both of these against my eye color. I think it looks cute. But yeah, blended fine, packed on fine. So far the mattes seem to be very universally the same, which is very pleasant. But we have two more mattes, so I'm gonna take these off and we'll move on to those. And I'm really excited to dive into the shimmers. All right, I'm back for the last two mattes, nice and primed and ready to go. We're gonna do Vote on this eye and Half Pony on this eye. The names of these are just so like perfectly Hannah. She did such a good job, man. I haven't used either of these browns yet, and I'm excited to see what they look like. Vote's actually a really pretty color. Very much up my alley, as far as like a brown would go. More grungy. Alright, and that is those. Those are those. These are those. This is just like a really pretty kind of camelish brown. It's a little more on the grungy side, which I like. This is a very cool toned, more deeper brown. I like the fact that this palette isn't like overthrown by browns or anything. It just has these two pops of brown, and I think these two could play nicely with all the other shadows. The tone is pretty on par with what we're working with. They're not necessarily something I need because I don't like, I don't know, you guys know me, I'm more of a color person. Brown isn't a necessity for me, but I can see the role that they play in this palette, and I appreciate that. But again, they performed nice. No issues here. I'm going to take these off and we're finally going to get into these shimmers. I can't wait. Oh, I'm excited to dive into these shimmers. I'm primed and ready to go. I'm going to take Friends on this side. I'm actually going to pair it with Dofa on this side. I just really want to pair the other two pinks next to each other. I want to pair these next to each other, and I want to pair the two goldy ones next to each other. So these ones are very contrasting. Not totally normal, but that's just how it's going to be. And again, I'm going in with just a light layer, well, a layer on just a primed base, and then I will take my NYX glitter primer, apply the glitter primer, and then a second layer of the shimmer just so we can see how much more it pops. And that's just how it's gonna be. Let's dive into Friends. My camera battery died right when I finished this size, so if I look like a different level of zoomed in or something, that's why. But let's dive into Dofa now. Alright, there's those. Friends is a really pretty soft pink. It's very angelic and cute. Dofa objectively is really pretty. It has a really nice shift. It's really deep with that kind of more vibrant purple glitz running through it, but I personally just don't love a dark shimmer like this. It's just not what I reach for, but objectively it is pretty and both of them just look nice. So I'm gonna take these off and we'll move on. Just a few more to go. My eyes are hanging in so far. Okay, moving on. Excuse me, motorcycle, don't be rude and loud. I'm gonna take Group Chat on this side and Hello on this side. I use Group Chat as my face highlight, and I think that was it. My face highlight and inner corner highlight in my first impressions, and I used Hello a little bit on my lower lash line, but it was already so blown out in dark pink that you couldn't really see it to its full potential, so I'm excited to see it on its full potential today. But we're gonna start with Group Chat on this side. Alright, here's those. Group Chat is just so pretty. I really like the shift to it. It's like kind of a light pink gold, and trust me, it works so beautiful as a face highlight. I can't stress it enough. And Hello is so pretty. I'm glad I get to see it in its full potential now. It's more of like a cool toned light pink. It's pretty, and inherently all three of the light pink shimmers in this palette are all just light pink shimmers, but they all offer just something a little bit different. So I feel like depending on which one you use can kind of transform the look that you're doing. So I'm pretty okay with these. They're really pretty. I like them. I'm gonna take these off though, so we can play with some more things. All right, we're down to the final four. We're gonna take Lino on this side and Nutty on this side. I used Nutty in my first impressions and I was blown away. It's so pretty. I can't wait to see Lino though. So let's go in with Lino. Oh, it's Leno, isn't it? It's not Lino, it's Leno. Goodness gracious. Oh man. These two steal my heart. They have the prettiest shifts to them. Oh, it's like a unicorn. I love these colors. Oh goodness, I love them. But we have two more to go. Let's get to it. My eyes are starting to be sad. All right, final two. Let's bust them out. I'm gonna do Instagram model on this side and a rant on this side. If you guys know me, you know golds aren't like my thing. Like I just don't reach for them, but I'm intrigued to see what these look like on the eyes. So let's go in with Instagram model first. All right, and those are those. Objectively, they're fine. They perform fine. They have shine to them. They apply to the eyes nicely, but these just aren't my colors. You just really won't see me reaching for stuff like this too often. I just don't like need it. And especially when like there's so many other pretty things in this palette, the golds are just not what I'm gonna reach for. So that's about it. I'm going to take these off now and edit a little bit, and I'll be back to finish this up with a look that isn't this one. Alright, I am back. I've returned. Those were the swatches. What did you guys think? Which colors are speaking to you the most? The most exciting ones for me are, I really like Jump Cut. It's a really cute corally tone. Group Chat is just such a pretty highlight. I'm wearing that on my face again today. Leno, Rose, all these pinky tones. Really, I could probably talk easier about the ones that I'm not thrilled about. Like Basic and Cold Brew just don't really do much for me. Half Pony and Vote, they're just browns, but at the same time I used Half Pony in my lower lash line today, and I really like how it played with the colors that I did use around it. So, I mean, I'm cool with that shade. These two, like, goldish and bronzy-ish ones just don't really do it for me, so I'm probably not really gonna mess with those too much, but for the most part, I'm freaking stoked about this palette. I'm very inspired. I feel like you can create so many different kinds of looks. There's so many different tones you can play off of. I don't feel like anything was too similar to each other, and I'm just really excited, but you'll have to tell me what you guys think. Did you pick this palette up? Do you want it? Is it on your wish list? I would love to hear your thoughts about it. It's out of stock right now, but as I mentioned in my first impressions video, it'll be coming back in stock as long as the demand is there, so I understand. So I'm sure it will be coming back if you wanted to get your hands on it. Anyways, if you made it to the end of this video, why don't you leave me like a sparkle emoji, like the little 3 stars? That's what I consider to be the sparkle, because it's like smoky glow. We need a glow emoji, you know? And if you liked it, give it a thumbs up. As I said before, my 3-Licks-1 palette will be up very soon, so stay tuned for that. If you're not already, please hop over to my Instagram. It's ButeBean. Follow me there. I post every single day, and don't forget to subscribe. I'm posting most days here as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Okay, bye.